What's crack-a-lackin' Rosie Rosemeister? So, let's get through your workout for today. The first thing that we need to do is we need to stretch off your glutes and your hip flexors. So, I know that you are familiar with this bad boy that we've done in the gym before. You just want to have one foot up on the wall and you want to have your opposite ankle crossed over your opposite knee. So, right ankle gets crossed right over the left knee. Remember that when you're in this position, you want to have that knee turned out, but you want to just be using the thighs of your own strides and the strength in your own thighs to be able to create that turn out in the first place. As that knee's turned out there, if you want to get a bit of a deeper stretch or you want to hit it at a slightly different angle, you can just pull that knee in. So I grab onto here, pull that knee in towards myself, get your glute and keep pointing your glute down towards the floor so your hips and your hands are pulling in opposite directions. Pull that knee right in towards the centre of your chest and you can pull your chin up towards it and get right in there if you just want to get that stretch a bit deeper. For your hip flexors, you want to do the couch stretch, which we're using a wall fall. What you want to do is whack your back foot against the wall. The further away your shin is from the wall, the easier the stretch is going to be. But you're probably going to want to have a cushion or a towel underneath that knee. Once you're in this position, you want to have your front foot out there, as in like the foot that's not getting the stretch is going to be out there supporting yourself. And you want to point your hips down towards the ground. So squeeze your glutes and think about putting your hips down towards the ground. Do not push it to the wall in front of you. Put them down. If you want a bigger stretch, just get that shin against the wall. Again, you're driving the hips down. And only if you can drive the hips down with the glute squeezed in this position comfortably for about 30 seconds do you want to consider ever going up to that high position where the butt's right against the foot and the hips point to the wall in front. Just master those other positions first. And those two stretches, but particularly that second one, is going to help to create some breathing space for your kneecap, which we'll go into a little bit later. But the first exercise we're going to do is a single leg wall hip thrust. So what you want to do is set yourself up so that your feet are at about a 45-degree angle. So we've got this kind of square effect going on between my legs and the wall. I've just put a jacket around my feet so we don't dirty the wall so much, but you can use a towel or anything like that if you want, or if you're on a wall outside, you might just want to have a towel underneath your back for a bit of support here. And all I'm going to do is I'm just going to lift my non-working leg up. So I'm going to keep that tucked in, and the working leg is now going to press into the wall as hard as I can, right through the heel and the toes, until I come up to a point where I have a glute squeeze, or that is also the position where the glute is in line with the stomach and the thighs. So if you have a look there, stomach, thighs, and hips, pretty much in a straight line all the way, and I am bridged right onto my up back here, keeping that other knee tucked in, but not worrying about the foot or nothing like that, just keeping that knee at a slightly tucked in angle. That helps stop your hips from drifting to side. So yeah, just lower right down towards the floor again and press through that working leg as hard as you can, but you're going to work one leg at a time. Anything between like 10 and 20 reps is going to be amazing on this exercise, but if you can get through a good set of 10, that's going to be a great starting point for us, but we'll just see how you get on. We might need to come down to an easy variation. However, if you go a little bit further away from the wall, it's easier, and if you find that it's too easy, then just get yourself a little bit closer, and this makes the bridge a lot harder to get into. But when we're going to be pushing up in this position, one thing worth noting is that because we're close to the wall, it means that we have a higher end position. So if you have a look, my hips are a little bit higher than they were before, and as opposed to before where I was bridging up onto my upper back, I would say I'm bridging onto the lower part of my neck right now. It's still comfortable for me to get into, but it's one hell of an exercise this. I absolutely love it, and I think that you will too. So obviously whenever you're done, you just swap the leg over and repeat the same kind of process, you know. Anyway, once we've gone through here, you're going to be going on some calf raises, and we're looking at doing 3 sets of 10 reps here, and the main thing is that we have a 5-second pause in the stretch portion of each rep. Lean your weight over your legs here as much as you can do. I try and get my shoulders to be a little bit past my toes, and this helps to get the end range position better. But all we're looking at doing is you getting the balls of your toes onto the end of some stairs and dropping your heels down as far as they will go. Get a big stretch in your hamstrings, hold it there for 5, 4, 3, 2 and 1, and then press them onto your toes as high as you can do. This is both going to stretch and strengthen your calves. You do not want to bounce in between the reps. You want to hang out there for about 5 seconds at a time. And if you can get through a set of 10 of these and it doesn't feel like it was a challenge whatsoever, which it should feel like a bit of a challenge for you, then you can simply do a single leg variation where we do the same thing. You drop right down till the heel comes right past as far as it can go. I'm keeping my shoulders lean right over my toes here. I'm going to do 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and then press right up on to the tips of my toes as high as I can go. We're looking at just doing 3 sets of 10 of these, whether that is the 2-footed variation or the 1-footed variation. Main thing is that you get the shoulders right over your toes for when you're stretching down, so that you get as much of a stretch in your calves as you can do, because alongside the hip flexor stretch that we were doing at the start, This exercise is going to help out a lot with your knee pain because the calves and the hamstrings both share the same insertion points into the back of the kneecap. So basically, if the calves are tight, the hamstrings are usually a bit tight as well because they are tight around the same kind of point. And doing this exercise helps to get them mobilised and strengthened so that knee joint should be supported a lot better and you should get a little bit more range as well, which means that for you, returning to jogging one day might be safe. The next thing we're going to get to after that is a banded lateral raise. I've just rolled my sleeve up here so that you can see some things easier because I'm just pointing out here that there is a front aspect of the shoulder, which is just there, a side aspect of the shoulder, which is there, and a rear aspect, which is there. The shoulders muscle groups are collectively called the deltoids, and it's the front deltoid, the side deltoid, and the back deltoid, or the anterior, the lateral, and the posterior. Have a little Google of those if you don't know the muscle groups because they are all separate muscles. They're not the same muscle, and that just comes in handy with this exercise because the actual shoulder muscle itself that's on the lateral, we always want that to be facing the ceiling in this exercise, and that's going to be a big key to the technique, which I'll get into right now. What you're going to want to do is grab onto your weakest band, like the long, loose one that you've got. You're going to want to get your feet just over shoulder width apart and stand on top of the band with your feet about halfway. The starting position of the band should have a little bit of tightness in the bottom, but it shouldn't feel like it's difficult just to hold it in the bottom position there. And then from there, you're going to grab it, so it's just going to be like a fist grip. You're going to lean your hips back a little bit and lean your shoulders over the midpoint of your foot. And you should be facing down towards the floor for this one. So hips back a little bit, shoulders over the midfoot. I'm kind of facing down towards the floor here. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull my hands up like a fist, making sure that my pinky is feeling like the lead here up towards the sky. And I'm just going to pull the band up until my hands come to be in parallel line with my shoulders. Slowly let the band take me back into position there. But as I'm pulling this band up, I'm kind of going to pull the band a little bit closer and towards my body as well. This is just going to help the shoulder to get a slight angle of external rotation, which is a little bit of a friendlier position for the shoulder to end up getting into. And it also follows the path of the side deltoid itself anyway. Like, as I lift my arm up towards the ceiling, and you'll find this if you look in the mirror, the side of your muscle of the shoulder faces the ceiling, but then as we come up higher and higher and higher, the natural rotation of the shoulder means that muscle group ends up pointing diagonally slightly back. So that's why we want to pull the band into us as we're doing this, so that as the shoulder changes angle as it goes up, we can customize with that as well. And we'll be looking at 3 sets of anything between 10 and 20 reps when we're doing this. Obviously, if you want the band to be a little bit stronger, you can just step on it a little bit further, or you can double the band over, which you've done before. But the main thing is that, yeah, the hips are back a little bit, the shoulder starts off just over the mid part of the foot. You want to have a little tiny bend in your elbow when you're doing this and a fist grip on the band. Lift the elbow up towards the sky and have the pinkies leading upwards. It should always feel like the pinky is leading up with this. And pull the band in a little bit closer towards your body as you are going up. So I kind of think start with the band mid-foot and then finish with the band itself, kind of trace just against the front of your thighs there. 3 sets of 10 to 20 reps. Your shoulder's going to be melting off this guy. And something that we want to do alongside that, which I have organised the clip in the wrong order, let me just fix this out, is after we've gone through 3 sets of 10 of that, what you can do is set and then get straight onto this, is we want to do some single arm row work. So whilst we're doing that banded variation that works the side of the head of the shoulder, the next thing that we're going to get onto is a rowing variation where we want to get one of your loopy bands that we use for your hip thrusts. Let me just get to the clip. You're going to hook the band over the middle of your foot. Sit yourself down. You want to get upright. And you're going to pull that shoulder blade back and down. Get a little tiny bend in your knees with this one. And you might remember that you had a little bit of hip discomfort last time doing a similar rowing variation. So get a little tiny bend in your knees and that should help out with this. But yeah, get a loopy band. Get it over the mid part of your foot. And then you're going to be rowing this band backwards. But you want to have your elbow drift just a little tiny bit away from your body with this one. Almost as if there's a bad guy behind you trying to rob your purse. And you're going to elbow him in the groin. Douche, take that guy. Hiss. So yeah, as opposed to keeping your elbow as close to your body as you can do, you just want to let it naturally drift out to the side there a little tiny bit, so it's about 4 or 5 inches out the way. But keep your other rowing principles the same. Keep trying to pull your shoulder blade back down as hard as you can do. Lead the pull with the elbow. But one thing that you want to try and make sure is that your hand stays in line with the band's path and you're not pulling the band upright as you're doing this. So if you have a look, my hand is just staying in line with the band, and when I'm coming back, I let the band lead me there. I'm not trying to pull my hand in any kind of big upwards direction or nothing. My elbow is travelling out to the side, but my hand is trying to stay in line with the band as much as it can. So that is band around the midfoot, shoulders back and down, elbow some bad guys behind you, and we'll be looking at 3 sets of about 10 to 15 reps on there. After these are done, we want to try and get onto a little bit of shoulder strength for yourself. So what we're going to be doing is either working push-ups or we're going to do a static push-up hold. I'm sorry that the clip is so dark on this. I've only just seen it now after I'm narrating it, but I will bear that in mind for next time. What you want to start with these is you want to start off with your like your hands directly underneath your shoulders. We want to be just over shoulder width apart for this, but we don't want to be really wide like you might have seen when people do a press-ups before. We're looking for you to be about 4 or 5 inches wider than shoulder width. Hands should be facing straight forward. Chin wants to start off directly underneath your fingernails. And then you're going to walk your knees out behind you. Like just keep onto your knees. Walk your knees right out behind you until it's practically straight, coming down from your upper back down towards the back of your legs. And then you're going to cross one foot over the other and bend them in. So when you get set up, so you've got your bent knees in, you should be in this kind of a position here. Eyes in line with fingernails, shoulders directly above ribs, shoulders directly above wrists. You can't tell it here, but I've got my stomach pulled in and it's tight. Pretty much a straight line from the upper back down towards where the glutes are, and then we want to bend those feet back there. Now, all I'm going to do here is I'm going to keep trying to tuck my elbows in towards my side, so do not let your elbows flare out. You want to tuck your elbows in towards your body, kind of like we're doing a row. Keep pulling your shoulder blades back and down, back and down, back and down, and you're just going to lower yourself down until your elbows are pretty much in line with your back. We don't need to go all the way down to the floor. We just kind of look at you lowering yourself about halfway down towards what you see as your range of motion. You won't be on the floor, you just come down about halfway. So yeah, just get yourself on down, keep those elbows tucked in, keep your shoulders leaned right over the front of your fingertips, and try and keep your weight shifted forward there. And you are just going to hang out there for up to 30 seconds in this position. If you keep pulling your shoulder blades back, if you keep trying to drive your elbows in towards your side, your upper back muscle is going to help to support your shoulders a bit better, but the burn for this should mainly come at the front of your shoulders. If you can do this position for 30 seconds, no problem at all, without sinking towards the floor or nothing like that, then by all means try giving a go at some push-ups from this knees position, where all we'll be looking at doing is matching the same position, but we are looking at going from the position of being right down there, that when we go to full extension with your arms, we would be looking to try and keep your weight over your fingers as much as you can do. So as much as it looks like I'm pushing backwards in this direction right now, I'm trying to keep my weight over forwards. I only end up coming backwards because that's where I'm going to end up being when my arms come into full extension. But I'm trying to keep that weight lean forward as much as I can do. Lowering myself down till I kind of feel like my shoulders are drifting just underneath my elbows, and then pushing up from there. The reason why I'm not going all the way down is because this is the furthest range of motion that I can go, where I can keep my shoulders pulled backwards as I'm lowering myself down. Once I go any lower than this, the bones, like within your arm, the humerus, I find that once I go past this position, that humerus starts pushing right towards the front of the shoulder, and I can no longer keep the shoulders pulled back. So we only want to go down as far as your upper back strength allows you to be able to keep your shoulders in a safe position. But as I said, main things here are going to be starting off in a position where your eyes are above your fingernails, your shoulders are above your wrists. It's pretty much a straight line going from your upper back down towards the back of your legs. We have your legs bent back there. You're going to be lowering yourself down, lowering your shoulders directly above your fingers, trying to take the load there, and then pressing back out until your shoulders are straight above your wrists again. So shoulders go above fingers, shoulders go above wrists, shoulders go above fingers, shoulders go above wrists. Easy peasy. So yeah, after that, you're going to want to hit some side planks, which I know that you are real good with, so I'm not going to go through too much of them. Just get yourself right onto that elbow and get the hips up as high as you can. And once we're done with the side planks, we're going to get on some Russian twists. Again, I'm sorry that the clip's gone a bit dark for this, but what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to sit upright. You're going to want to bend your feet so that your heels are a lot closer to your body, and you're going to be leaving your weight on your heels and on your butt. You're going to lean your torso right back as though you're sitting in a sun lounger. It should feel like you're coming to about 35 to 40 degrees back, and all of a sudden you're just going to feel your abdominals and your hip flexors just switch on to try and keep you in place. You want to keep that tension there, so they're trying to hold you in place all the way. And you want to start off in a position where you've got your hands in front. You can be holding onto like a water bottle or like a cup of water or something like that to make this a little bit more difficult if you want. But just using your body weight is fine, and you're just going to tap over from either side to either side. Tap your object right down towards the floor, or tap your fingers down towards the floor, and then twist round the other way and just tap on the other side. We are looking at you doing anything between about 40 to 60 total reps of this in one giant set, and then calling it a day. Although I cannot deny that if it's been a while since you've done these, that normally after about 20 or 30 reps burns. So yeah, best of luck. And I will leave a little description for the reps and sets inside here. Let me know if there's any exercise that you have any problems with. Give us a little recording of a couple of exercises if you find any of them difficult at all. I'd be really interested to see how it is that you're going to get along with push-ups. Peace out, home girl. Hope this helps.